Okay, good morning, everyone. We'll be with you here in just a minute. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just one moment. Sorry, 2 minutes, not one.
Okay, okay. I'm looking at it going, I'm not gonna throw in like smart, but it's not orange that matches this, right? Let's put something over, it, we'll be good.
Matches the screen.
Exactly. Still got 1 minute if you wanna be loud for 1 minute. We're good.
Absolutely not for.
This way. Here's- Yeah. We can not- we make sure that right, for those of you online, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, I can hear you.
Outstanding. Thank
I
you.
can-
great job.
I gotta give Lee credit for it. It's not me.
Oh, he works miracles IT wise.
There we go. Perfect. So I'll back up to the ones that I didn't hear if you were online. Carlinville Hospital.
Tyler's here from Carlinville.
Thank you. And those of you that are online, if you could also put your name and who you're representing in the chat, that would be really helpful. Okay. Holy Family. St. Elizabeth's.
St. Elizabeth is here, but I don't have chat access right now. It's
Okay, no
Telecom.
worries. We'll count you as here. Thank you. St. Joseph Breeze. St. Joseph Highland.
The mics, the speaker, but.
Jersey Community.
So,
Memorial, Belleville, and Shiloh are well represented here in the room. Memorial Hospital Chester.
Georgia Stipe from Chester.
Thank you. St. Anthony's. Redbud.
Tara Voss from Redbud.
Thank you. Sparta Community.
here.
Thank you. Touche. Here. We're gonna move on to our health departments, Bond County. Here.
We're
Thank
here.
you, Calhoun. Thank you. Oh, we got one in each spot. Outstanding. Calhoun County. Clinton County. East Side Health District. Fayette County.
Kendra Craig Fayette.
Thank you. Greene County. Jersey County. Thank you. Macoupin County. Madison County. Here. Thank you. Monroe County. Randolph County. Oh, sorry. Did I hear someone from Randolph? Randolph County's here. Perfect. Oh, thank you. St. Clair County.
St. Clair County's here.
Thank you. We're gonna move to our community partners. Regional EMS Coordinator Mike is here.
That's actually Nicole.
Oh, no, sorry, that's Nicole. Sorry, thank you. I keep
Yep, I'm
wanting to
here.
say system versus region, Mike. I'll get that right correct one day. I promise you.
I don't know. I may want to give Mike my role soon.
I
Stand by.
understand. Understand. Emergency Response Coordinator. Orange Jewish Christian. Emergency Management Agency. MedStar Ambulance.
John's here.
Thank you, John. Abbott Ambulance. SSM Health St. Louis.
Good morning, home Sankel Slough.
Thank you. Scott Air Force Base. Stars.
Good morning, this is Kara.
Thank you. Regional Healthcare Coalition for St. Louis.
I can also make some report there.
Perfect. St. Louis VA. And the Rehab Institute of Southern Illinois.
Scott, I'm here.
Thank you. And Eric for the VA. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Our due outs and open tasks. We don't have any right now, so that's great news. We're going to move on to our report outs from the folks that come before we come into it. So moving on to IDPH, and I'm going to turn it over to Nicole.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect, thank you. I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible. So if you've been on the other two meetings today, bear with me. I'm going to go through the staffing change again and IDPH restructuring again. Before anybody even asks, though, I cannot share an org chart yet. I ask every time before I have these meetings if I can, and I've still been told to no. So I will as soon as I can. But basically, Office of Health Protection and Office of Preparedness and Response has begun to transition into one office that's going to be called Office of Health Protection and Response. So they're combining into one. The head of both of those together is now Bobby Van Bieber. He's still our EMS division chief, but as of February 16th, he became the deputy director of this new Office of Health Protection and Response. Mark Stevens, that used to be in the Region 5 RHO, He is now the Deputy Director of Bureau of Preparedness and Response. That was effective as of February 1st. I talked about Jessica McNally becoming the All Hazard Section Chief during our last meeting last month. But Julie Havens Jones, who is our Special Programs Coordinator for IDPH, she deals with the EMS Assistance Grant. She is retiring April 1st. I will be picking up the EMS Assistance Grant until she is replaced along with my Region 4 duties. So if I am slower to respond to stuff, that's probably because I'm knee deep in dealing with this grant that needs to get ready to be executed. The consolidation of the fiscal and grant employees to be under one house called the Bureau of Finance, that's on track, and it has been started. They started that process of mitigating them over into one bureau earlier this week, so they're moving that forward. The process of moving and reorganizing health protection and response begins July 2026, as in taking us from EMS, our division of EMS, and moving us over to a different office called the Office of Healthcare Systems or Health Systems in the Department of Healthcare Regs. So like where long-term care, where hospital regs, all that stuff is, that's where EMS will eventually be housed. That should be completed by the end of December is the goal. And then the other thing, if you've been on the other meetings, I've been talking about how the trauma and EMS advisory meetings need to be open meetings compliant. We used to be, but things happen and COVID and everything else. And I think this is an issue throughout the state. So we've been told to give the regional meetings reminders of that Open Meetings Act. So I'm going to be sending out my notes. You guys will probably get a copy of it too, but I don't believe the HCC is within my EMS statute. So you can take with it what you will, but the EMS advisory and the EMS trauma specifically have been named as being having to be open meetings compliant. Although I'll be honest, you guys set this up pretty much like Open Meetings Act anyway. You have a website you can post on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to interrupt you just for a second,
Yeah,
Nicole.
go ahead.
I think for the Hope Coalition, we're already in compliance
Yeah.
because the public can go to our website and look at our meeting minutes and so on, and that's
Right.
already published for everyone. So we've got a list of who's here and all of that, who's involved,
Yeah,
who
and
our
you do
partners
roll
are.
call.
Yeah, so we're in compliance already with the Open Meeting Act.
Yeah, I think pretty much almost all the health coalitions in the state are set up similar and have a website and all that stuff. So it's not as tricky for you guys
Right.
as it is for EMS and trauma, since they don't have like a designated website for that stuff. So we'll have to navigate through that. But if you guys see that in my notes, that's why it's pertaining there. And I think that's it. I don't know if Beth is on. I know normally she reports after me, but I know she had a meeting earlier, so.
Okay. Well, we will find out, right? Anybody have any
Yep.
questions for Nicole? All right, we have our public health departments. Is anybody reporting for Beth? I didn't hear her call her name out. Okay, I think that goes back to what Nicole was just saying, that she had another meeting that she had to be on. Do we have anything for St. Louis, HCC, and STARS?
Okay, sure. This is Kara. As far as the HCC, currently right now they are updating the strategic plan and working on the cybersecurity and extended downtime assessments with the St. Louis Fusion Center. And then we'll also be attending the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services partner HPP meeting at the end of the month. As far as STARS, over the past couple weeks, we've had 4 tabletops, which were great. I know many of you were at some or all of them. 2 of them were for mass fatality exercise series, and the other 2 were wrapping up our access and functional needs project, the public health project. So that last one, the public health project, was several different response partners and agencies, including service providers within various AFN populations, came together in more of a workshop type of setting. Anyway, it was great. It was it was really welcoming to see so many new partners and the interest in continuing that partnership and planning for emergency situations. So it's been a busy couple weeks, and anyway, those were great projects that we just wrapped up, and we've got several more to go. I can drop them in the chat. The next one that we've got coming up is our regional COAD functional exercise on April 8th. I'll put the links in here when I wrap up. And then we've got some upcoming trainings too. I'll add all of those links. You can always find them on the website. You can always sign up for the newsletter to get all of that information to your inbox. I think we've mentioned these already, but we've got the April 21st PER 211, the medical management of chem, bio, and radiological, nuclear, and explosive events in Belleville. We've got the site protection through observational techniques, which is virtual, April 30th. And then we have on May 21st, the PER 320, personal protective measures for biological events. I will post the links for all of those. I can also post some links here that I've got ready for the National Weather Service Storm Spotter Training. There's several of those listed. And then coming up, we've got another mass fatality. The full-scale exercise is going to be in May. And we are having our CCTA exercises are going to be one in Illinois, and that's going to be held at the SIUE campus. And the other one is in Missouri, and that is going to be in St. Charles. So those are anticipated to come in May. We're still working on details left there. And lastly, we have our IPPW will be held April 2nd. So I will put all of those links there. So that is what I have from STARS in the HCC. Oh, and the HCC Readiness and Response Coordinator position is vacant, and we will be posting that shortly. But you can reach me in the interim if you have any needs in that department.
Excellent.
End of report.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for that great information. Does anybody have any questions? I know she had a lot of info, so thank you for putting that into the chat as well for everyone. Perfect. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. Mike is our remert. Do we have any questions that we might need to send over? He stepped out for the moment, but any questions that we might have for Mike or Lee, if you can give any updates?
Yeah, we're just continuing to prepare for the summer season. That's a busy season for pretty much everything we do, as well as a couple of short notice events that may be forthcoming that we're trying to prepare for.
And I'll share with you that Memorial is going to use the remert team again for the Belleville Marathon. So we're preparing for that as well. BA.
Consider staying.
Sure.
Your show, man.
My show.
It's your show.
Fuck this time.
There you go. I like it.
You know, keep it normal. Ish. So couple of things. One, the products for the AARs, those will be coming out at probably today or tomorrow. So I'll have this for the coalition and for STARS. The other thing is we're going to be hosting our FCC tabletop exercise. So again, every 3 years, we're supposed to do we have a 3-year cycle, which means it's a tabletop, then a functional, then a full scale. So since we did a full scale, we are now in the tabletop, which is a lot easier. And so we'll be hosting that on June 17th. I got some folks that will be helping me planning that. So if you don't see it from me, the other individual that will be helping me plan will be Jade. She graciously volunteered, or she just said, hey, I want to jump on this hand grenade with you, and we're going to help plan this out. So, yeah, what we'll be doing is getting that out. But again, keep in mind that this does come on the heel, essentially, of the People World Cup. So we have literally the tabletop, which is going to be centric around that kind of style event. Then a week later, you have People World Cup. Other than that, we are monitoring the things that are kind of going around right now around the world. Some people may not be aware, but federal coordinating centers also / becomes patient reception sites. That's the military side of the application. So that is also being in discussion, not that we need to put that into play, but it's things that we have to be mindful of all the time. So those are also being worked in the background just in case. But again, I just want for everybody's edification that FCCs do pair with the military side of the of the world, I'll say it that way. Any questions, concern? All right.
Thank you much. Thank you for making it so formal. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I have some updates for the grant. First, I want to tell you that some of you have already received your sub-awardee documents to move forward with them. The rest of you should be receiving them in the next coming week or so. But there is a federal update that I need to give you, and it is in the spirit of transparency. The coalition received a document from IDPH's chief financial officer. I want to give you an update on what's going on with the federal government level. The federal government has pulled funding for certain things from the states of Illinois, Minnesota, Colorado, and California. And the rationale behind that is that they didn't feel that we were following the mission as they saw it. There was a federal district judge who put a restraining order on that, pulling back the funds and stopping the funding. That was done on February 12th. It was supposed to expire on February 26th. We have not gone through the court processes yet. That has now been extended to March 12th. After March 12th, we don't know what's going to happen with our funding. We don't know if there's going to be a further restraining order issued by this district judge, or if we're going to go in an entirely different direction, or if it's going to be changed. I will share with you that I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon with our grants management office to see how we're going to go forward as the sub-awardees and as our coalition on purchasing things and spending that money that was already approved. Now, the money that was already approved is the money that is being held by the feds. I will encourage you, if you want to look up more of what is going on, simply look up federal judge places restraining order, Illinois, Minnesota, Colorado, California. One thing I've heard so far, if you have already received your document telling you to go ahead and spend money and you've got it signed and you've got it back to GMO, which there are 4 that are already signed back and moving forward. Spend your money by the 12th of March. Make sure that you get those purchases done by the 12th of March, just in case we don't have anything after the 12th of March. As soon as I know more, I will be communicating that with you, whether it's via email, on our Hope Coalition website, or other ways. I know I got a lot of people looking at me like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm gonna stop here and see if there are questions on what I just shared with you.
Pretty clear.
All right, perfect.
Surprised me in the latest.
You know, I am remembering what Eric told me before. I thought I was gonna come in here. We're gonna have a great thing. What did you tell me before? Rookie mistake, right? So here's the newest challenge that we get to overcome. When I was talking with some other folks in different healthcare coalitions, not here in Illinois, but across the country, they haven't faced the exact same process, but they've had some of these challenges as well. This is what happened for them. It was their state level rather than the feds that were changing things. It worked out in the end. They just had more hoops to jump through and more bumps to get through. I don't know if that's going to be the case for us, but that's where I've got my fingers crossed that that's exactly what's going to happen for us, is that this will work through its way through the judicial system and we will be right back where we're supposed to be. Okay. But again, I will be sharing all that information as soon as I learn of it. New business. Now that I've brought everyone down and nobody has a smile on their face anymore, let's get into some new business. I'm going to turn this one over to Lee because he set this up and this was outstanding.
So on the 18th, we busted out all of the new tents that we received on last year's grant. the vendor happened to be in the area for another client and said, hey, I'm on the route. You want me to stop in? We worked it out, got in there and got them put together. What we have, and I don't actually have a photo of it from the air, but we have enough to put a small medical aid station together. When I say small, I mean, it's 4 tents with that center hub thing that you see them setting up there. So it actually becomes fairly expensive. And it's fully climate controlled. We bought the HVACs, everything for it. So the whole kit and caboodle. But we went through, we managed to get it all back in the box this time. The last couple times we've used the tent, it came out of the box.
That's a hazard.
Yeah. But getting it back in took 4 minutes. A mule, 4 minutes stood on top. The mule flipped the switches. But we did finally get it back. Now we're at a point where we actually know how to do it. And we have a couple of folks that are part of our remark team who are more of our logisticians, that if we ever have to deploy this, they'll be able to set it up. The nice thing about this is we can get the entire system up and running in less than an hour, all 4 tents plus the center hub. You actually get a tent undercover, it literally takes about 2 minutes. They're slick. And it's a 2-man job for the tent. It's a 4-man job, they say, for the center. Eric got to come out and see him.
Yeah, that's fine. It was very nice.
When we did this in the parking lot of our warehouse in Fairview Heights. So we drew plenty of attention from the neighbors.
We did.
Beautiful weather.
Oh, and it couldn't have been better weather. It was the first, that really nice 70-something degree day and sunny. It was beautiful. Yeah, we had a great time.
So Lee, you're saying Eric's the subject matter expert on putting him up now?
Yeah, I stood back and observed. Mike, that's what I'm just,
I will share that the gentleman from our remark team, watching them do this is almost like watching a NASCAR pit crew. They jump right in. They kind of push the rest of us out of the way. And you can see some of us are like standing there on the sides over here because they shoved us out of the way and told us to go away and moved us away because we were getting in their way. They're amazing. So those are some of the gentlemen that, for those of you that were here, we gave them the challenge coins because of all the work they do with our coalition. They definitely did a great job on this one.
Yeah, they're the ones when you ask them, hey, how long is this going to take? They say 12 hours if you help me, 8 if you leave me alone.
Right.
And, you know.
And that's spot on. Spot on.
So, but we do have all these tents. They are now available for both, scheduled events as well as emergency responses. We're going to go to the coalition next, or to the warehouse next, but the way everything is arranged, we can actually get it out the door now.
We actually learned too, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of this picture, you're going to see the boxes. Those boxes can turn into tables. And
that's nice, a good beer cooler.
That's exactly it. If you put the little things that go on it and it lifts up, it's like a bar on the top and a beer cooler on the bottom. And he did explain how many bags of ice it holds because they've used those boxes for that same purpose before. But what was really good on those of us learning how to do this is, I think it was one of our remark team people noted that there was a manufacturing defect in some of the parts for that section of the box to turn it into a higher table. So we were able to use our warranty and get that replaced because the manufacturer's representative was there with us. So it's a good thing that we did put this up and learn how to do it, because we would never have found that broken piece or that wrongly manufactured piece. It's bent the way it was cut in the shop. And it's a metal piece. It's not like something we could pry in a different direction. It's a solid metal piece. So it was a really good thing that we were able to get this extra part here with the beer cooler, is now what we're calling this, to get that set up with the table on top. Any questions about the tents? It really was a fun day. We're talking with the remark team. They want to do this more often. They don't want to do this just once a year. So when we have this scheduled again, anyone is welcome to come out and play, for lack of a better term. If you want to see how it's done, if you want to help us figure out how to get it back in the box, you're absolutely welcome to do that.
We'd really actually like, in talking to the boys, to set this up sometime, maybe during the summer, and actually set the entire full system up and get an idea of how long it really takes to get everything, power, generators, the whole 9 yards. And we have space that we can do that, both at the warehouse or at Memorial or any of the other empty parking lots in the area, because it will take some space. But this is something we think is necessary. We do have right now sitting on our warehouse waiting to be finalized, the new wireless EKG system that will work in this tent. We also just received a broadband internet source from IDPH. Thank you to the state for that. That allows us to have internet in pretty much anywhere. And it's going to be a good set once everything is fully deployed.
And that internet box, when you look at it, it makes you feel like you're part of a secret mission. Because it's like a Pelican case looking thing and it's kind of cool actually, and it works well.
What kind of
So-
connection is it?
Mike, you're gonna answer that question.
It's dual, it's got two different SIM cards in it, a Verizon and a FirstNet. It runs primarily off of FirstNet, but if for whatever reason FirstNet fails, it'll automatically fail over to the Verizon to continue to provide service.
And then we also just, Sue let me do an upgrade to it that allows us to feed Starlink into it if we had to, and it could pass through. And it just got delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, so if it gets really bad, at least we'll be able to call somebody for help from our medical tents.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So you can set that up in a home.
So we can set up not all the power and everything, but just the base tent set about an hour to get 4 tents set up and the center with, assuming we have like 8 people. Yeah, or the more people we have, the less time it'll take. Each individual tent takes 2 people and 10 or 15 minutes total to hang the inner liner. Because it expands kind of like a pop-up tent. You pull it, it locks, you strap it down, and then there's hangers inside. And it's alleged it'll handle up to like 70-mile-an-hour straight line winds.
The one thing we do have to work on that Sue mentioned at the marathon is we have to look at, and it may be covered if we put the liner in, is that strap that holds it from spreading out.
It is,
a
it's
strap-
covered. Yeah, it's covered if we put the liner on the bottom.
Okay.
It's covered, because I was there and my safety senses were tingling. So I asked all those questions about making sure we didn't have those safety issues, so. Anyone else? All right, moving on to the next one. And again, I'm gonna turn it back over to Lee.
So the 20th, Friday, we gutted the warehouse.
Good.
We disposed of a lot of expired stuff that we have held on to since COVID. Let's face it, we knew as soon as we got rid of it, they're gonna give us something to say they need it. But we had no more room, so we got rid of about 7 pallets that were being shipped over to some third world nation for their use. And the rest of the things we have gone through and organized. This is our space that we have in Fairview. The way it's laid out across the wall on the racks, we have Western shelters, we have generators, we have HVACs, everything that we need in order to be able to go to set up a remote site. And it's laid out in the order it would be loaded onto the trailer. We also have a trailer posted at that location as well. Prime movers we're short on right now, so we will partner with another agency to transport if it becomes necessary. But we have tents, we've got HVACs, anybody need backboards? Yep.
Okay.
Backboards. You have as many as you want.
We'll show you how to use them as a sled down the hill with the snow. Just saying.
Yeah.
Show you how to do it.
But we do have pretty much everything that the coalition owns now finally organized and centralized. And it is climate controlled, it is, alarmed, we have security cameras, the whole kit and caboodle. And we even have internet, so we can actually do things there.
And I'm gonna take a minute, some of you may know her, but Jen Dorner is our EMS coordinator for the SWIL EMS in our office. The coalition, myself, Lee, and the rest of the team, we share an office and we're part of the EMS system. Got that one right this time. We're part of that as well. We all share that office. Jen herded cats is my best way of putting that. She is the one that figured out where we were going to put stuff, told people. She was fantastic with telling people where to put stuff. She has even decided that there's going to be some black tape on the ground. If you put anything outside that black tape, Jen has a camera on there. She's going to hunt you down and find out why. Okay? She is now in charge of keeping this looking like this for us. So again, if you guys come by and visit us over at Memorial, you'll see Jen. She's the person right there in the window. I know she's not on this call, so she'll be surprised when everyone tells her what a great job she did herding cats for our warehouse. So congrats to her for that. We really appreciate it.
She had like Six Sigma training or something like that.
No, she has motherhood training.
Oh, yeah.
She has kids and she's in EMS, so she's really good at telling people what to do and not listening to their guff. So she did a great job. She did a great job.
She was our shelf monkey for some of the sketchier things that we had to do to make it all work.
I wasn't there for the safety part, so I told them, don't tell me about what you did. That was not safe. So,
That warehouse is at Belleville.
No, that is actually in Fairview Heights off of Executive Drive. It's actually right around the corner from our IDPH partners.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Are you over there?
Yeah, that's where my office is.
Okay, I didn't know if you ever got.
I will
Yeah.
say that our warehouse is not marked
it is not.
for very big reasons because we have a lot of stuff stored.
Right. And we're not there every day. So we don't keep it marked because we don't want the whole world to see what's inside there or even have an idea what's in there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in and out over there because of Planned Parenthood protesting and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, that's wise.
Yeah, and if you look at it from the back, it almost looks derelict because there's a wire that goes across it that's
Not
falling
ours.
off the roof.
Not ours.
It's not ours. So it almost looks like nobody's in there, which is a good thing because then people aren't gonna be hopefully breaking into our warehouse, so. All right, any other questions? All right, measles preparedness, as I'm sure you've heard, there, and I'm sure our local health department folks will nod their head, I saw the look on your face. When we talk about measles, we got some calls, from some of our different health departments asking us at Memorial for, you know, how many tests we had, that type of thing, that IDPH wanted that information. I frantically ran down the hallway and asked my friend Lee, what can we do about this? And I'm gonna turn it over to him and let him tell you what he did here.
So in D4H, we actually have what's called a status board, for measles preparedness. It's broken down by county health department or district, depending on how you want to look at it. Your organizations fall underneath of that. You can go in and enter what you see on that bottom right side is the actual form that when you double click your organization name, it's very simple questions. You know, how many tests, how much IG, how much IVIG, and how long does it take you to order stuff? And then there's a notes field as well. The nice thing about this is as you populate it all, Nicole and Beth can actually go in and export it into a spreadsheet. And they have all the data they need right there on the fly. It's easy to update. It's easy to change. This is something that, as opposed to having everybody send 1,001 emails to Beth or Nicole, you know, we just figure centralize it. This is something that's useful for all of us because, hey, if you needed to call and say, hey, we don't have this, but you have it, can we get some? It makes that negotiating thing a little easier up front. You don't have to hunt for it. But this is something that we do. I actually have it up on my screen on the background right now. We monitor the D4H platform all day, every day. So if you have resource requests, like say you did need to submit something to have some test media, or maybe you needed some doses of something, you can put the resource request in through D4H, and then we will assist you and the other organizations that are needing it or have it to handshake the agreement. You know, that's part of that MOU is staff, space, and stuff, right? So this might be the stuff thing that we have to start looking at in the future.
So Lee is being very modest. I'll share with you that my emails, and I saw a couple of you nodding your heads back there from our health departments. My emails were kind of blowing up for a bit. I was on a bunch of calls. We were trying to figure out how we were going to all bring this together. When he finished this and we got it out to everybody, those calls started calming down and my email stops going crazy. And I see you nodding your head, yes. It was really a great tool for us to get this information together. And I think it gives us a peek on what we can do in similar situations with D4H. This is a great tool for us to use, not just obviously for measles, but in any situation like this, that we may need to have this information across our region and you know, funnel that up to IDPH. This is a great way to do it. So I know that Lee is working on encouraging all of you to give him ideas on this. I'll turn it back over to him.
So I will say, and I know you can't see it on the screen right now, there's a whole lot of status boards on the side there. There's a status board for hospitals. There's a status board for long-term care centers. You have a status board for urgent cares. These are all organizations that Sue is going to be reaching out to start, you know, trying to bring them into the fold. We want to get them on board. We want them to be a part of the coalition and be active in the coalition. And this will give us a way over time that, just like we do an EM resource for my hospital friends, we go in and say, oh, we're having problems and we're doing something. That's awesome in EM resource, but only people that can see it are other hospitals. We have a board in here that mimics what you see in EM resource, but it also allows for those of us in the RHCC who have a warehouse full of crap to start assessing the priorities of who gets what crap based on what their need are. Again, your resource request process, it's here. Your ability to communicate with your community partners within the coalition, it's here. All of the resources that you need are built in. If there's something that you don't see that you want built, let me know. That board for the measles, it took me half an hour, if that. And that was to stop and answer a couple of phone calls from people going, hey, do you know what's going on? Because one of them I was talking to Michelle. So, it's not hard. This is something that we can do really easily and quickly. We just prefer to try to have it done in advance so I don't have to scramble.
And Lee is really good at this, and it honestly was done in about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Yes.
And it was ready to go and it was live. So it was just a matter of us, there was one phone call I was on where there were a bunch of people whose names or their sites were on here. And we were all talking, they were trying to say, what are we gonna do? And my answer was, have you read your email about D4H? They said, hold on a second. They went over, read the email, they said, okay, good, I'm gonna go update it. And that was the end of the call. So it really does make a difference like that. And we can take advantage of this. And let's take advantage of Lee's expertise in this too, because he's really good at it.
And if you don't have access to this for some reason, let me know. I tried to put everybody's names that was on any of our coalition documents in here, but inevitably, people change, things change, and I'm human, so I do miss things occasionally. Just make sure we get you in there.
Was your response good?
The response was actually excellent. We had one hospital that we had to do it for them because no one there had access because they'd all changed.
Right.
So overall, you can ask Nicole. I believe she was monitoring it pretty closely.
Yeah, she was.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I was waiting for you guys to finish because I was going to rab on it. So this thing was fantastic. What came down the pipeline was the FIOC was asking for information. And initially, I think we had Madison County that was trying to contact all the hospitals, and it was just getting to be too difficult. And yeah, the RHCC and Lee and Sue were phenomenal with setting this up fairly quickly. And actually, when me and Beth had a meeting with the FIOC people, I'd say like 8 hours after you guys set it up, and I pulled it up in real time so that way they could kind of see how this navigated. And our SNS coordinator also, actually the next day I pulled it up because the SNS coordinator was on that meeting call. And I told them, I said, I don't know how other regions are set up for this, but this is slick. I said, this system is in real time. They can adjust it based on the time frames and when things change. I said, it's really a neat system. I said, and they got set up fairly quick within their system. I said, and it was very responsive. So yeah, we had 3, I think I had to reach out to because I had people change, but 2 did reply back on the D4H and 1 I just manually threw in for them. But overall, I think this is definitely a useful tool. I think it's something we should definitely use in the future because yeah, it was great because then I didn't have to constantly contact Sue and Lee. What's our current numbers? And once we got everybody's numbers from the hospitals, I sent the final report over to the folks in the FIOC and ODC because it ended up being Office of Disease Control, Environmental Health, and OPR were the 3 agencies involved. And I sent them over what I considered like the final for it. And I told them, I said, if we find that we've got more measles cases coming down that we discover and we need to reassess our capabilities, to let me know. And I would reach back out to Lee and Sue and have you guys re-look at your numbers and change what needed to be changed. So I do think it's a really great, useful tool. And they liked it. The state level liked it, and it's hard to please them. So
Oh, we know. So yeah, if we do have more issues come up that we have to update those, we'll just reach out to you guys and let you know, and we'll get it updated right away. Any other questions or comments about this?
About the fact you did this, because making it more robust and make people hop on it.
Exactly. Agreed.
Lee is very patient too, when they're struggling.
Yes, he is. He is good.
I'm
with,
like texting back and forth. I'm like, okay, get it now. Okay,
I'm telling you what to do. And then in his original, if those of you didn't see his original email that went out, he had step-by-step instructions on the original email that he sent out to tell people to do this. So he's definitely helpful when it comes to that. I agree. All right, let's talk about our exercise. This is thanks to Sean and thanks to Lee for getting this started for us. We're going to have our 2026 Mercy exercise the week of April 20th to the 24th, 2026. It's intended to be a low or no notice exercise. That's why we're only giving you the week. It's a hybrid functional exercise, and it's built to give us some opportunities for multidiscipline response. Thank you to Sean, because he has been doing his version of herding cats when it comes to getting our EMS colleagues together to talk about their role in it, our hospital teams in getting their role together, and really making sure that we have everybody understanding what we need from them. We ask all of you to participate, and all of our partner agencies to participate. And this is something that we must have for our grant deliverable. The scenario is going to really stress our regional ability to respond to a coordinated terror attack. That's what we're looking at this one. You've heard us talk about this already. We gave a little bit of an update from Lee on a general idea of what we're doing. Some of you in the room, I know, are on the team and have been in our meetings and know what our whole scenario looks like. Sean has been working very diligently to get some injects created and some specific ones for hospitals and different groups. So again, you're going to be seeing this the week of April 20th to the 24th. I'm going to stop here, see if there's any questions in the room or online. All right, I think this is going to be a fun one, especially for those of us that have been doing the planning on this. We've been having a good time with it, so hopefully you guys are going to have a good time with it as well.
Yeah, I think we need to give a shout out to Lee for, I think aren't you related to Stephen King?
Yeah, Stephen King.
Where Lee gets some of his.
I watch a lot of horror and.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
So he put the SIT man and the X plan and put this in motion months ago. So this is kind of his brainchild. He did a lot of it, heavy lifting and getting us kickstarted on this. So
yeah,
appreciate that. And we also appreciate EMS, Eric and John.
Mm-hmm.
Lee and I met with them to try and craft out some EMS and EGs and injects. We met with Sam and Fred from EM. Nicole, I know you're on. We met with Public Health to make sure that we're bringing all of our stakeholders in and figuring out how do we integrate you into the exercise? What do you need to show your leadership that you already know is a gap that you need to identify on an AAR so they support you. So it's been a real pleasure. It's been a team effort.
And I'll share with you when he talks about the team, the first time the three of us together sat down and Lee gave us the idea that he had, and he kind of cackled at the end of it, just to let you know. We looked at him and we're like, there's something wrong with you, man. And it was kind of funny. So yeah, it is definitely a Stephen King-esque thought process that was in his head for this one.
And originally, this was just built as a complex coordinated terror attack. This was before we knew we were going to go to war with somebody who might actually bring a coordinated terror attack.
Right.
So, you know.
It's not a bad thing for us to test this. Yeah. It's a good call.
I know it's lower no notice than NCC on Monday.
It will not be on Monday.
Is that what the 20th is? Is the Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is not on Monday. We're very busy on Mondays too. I'm sure that's what you're thinking too. Mondays are a bad day for stuff.
And we don't want to do Friday because people might want to leave early to go home.
We're not going to tell them any more than that.
Those your goalposts.
There you go. There's the goalpost. You get nothing more than that. Good call. All right. Anyone else? All right. Annex review. I'm going to turn this over to Sean, and he's going to tell you what he's working on.
Yeah, so as part of our grant deliverable, we need to evaluate, kind of reassess and edit, update our annexes So you'll see all of these listed, and I'm working with Sue and Lee right now to confirm exactly what the grant says we have to have. I know years ago, burn, pediatric, chemical, rad, those were like a bust that were dictated and did one a year. So we're probably gonna push these out in a wave of like 5 and ask for feedback like last time. In the last quarter, we did the EOP and some of you guys filled out that CRF. So I'll attach that, and it's basically a line item that you can put what section, what page your edit is on that plan. And then we'll go in and we'll update it. We'll call you if we have any questions on what your comments were. So I'm not gonna anticipate everybody's gonna read every one of these plans from front to back. But if you're really like a burn nerd and you wanna look at that annex and really take a deep dive, then please do so. If pediatrics is kind of your niche and you really like pediatric stuff, then take a deep dive on that. We'll be pushing those out this week, but like I said, we'll probably do like a first wave of 5 and then another wave of 5. And just looking to get these updated, check a box, basically. I know Lee and Phil, before Phil left, and Eric, have done a lot of good work on these, so I'm feeling pretty good that they're gonna be robust, and you guys obviously put this work in years ago.
The burn surge from the state is being redone.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So FYI.
So is the Kimpac.
Don't do.
Allegedly,
So
I will say allegedly. We have yet to see a final product.
Yeah, let's.
And,
So
Sean, you
let's
weren't
see what
here,
happened after that's completed.
you weren't here for my conversation earlier, with Eric that, we were looking on the camp website, to get that document that he's talking about, telling us everything. We forgot, my friend, that there's a government shutdown right now. That's probably why I can't get in there to, get that document for you. So, that might take that time frame that we have a little bit longer. So I'll share with you, I tried to go onto the website yesterday, couldn't get in, tried to get Lee access into it, couldn't get that accomplished, and couldn't figure out why. I was gonna work on that today, and then my friend here reminded me that that part of the government is shut down. So I have to wait on that one. So,
Yeah, and Eric, you brought up the burnout. Nicole, I don't want to put you on the spot. If there's no update, then there's no update. But I know you were looking into that.
Oh, on Kimpac? Yeah, I thought
Oh,
I
no,
sent.
the camp in the burn.
Oh, yeah, they mentioned that actually, I think at the trauma advisory
They did.
a week ago. And they are, I think, in the final stages of trying to finish it, but they didn't give us a copy yet.
okay,
So I'll share with you that Scott and I were working on the burn annex about 5 or 6 months ago. So it's been a while now.
Okay,
And when it came up, it was the first time I'd laid eyes on it. And I had a lot of questions, and the clinical side of me, the nurse kicked in, and I'm like, this process flow of activation notification is very gray. And sometimes you can tell when a policy or plan is written that way intentionally. This one seemed confusing. So we made some calls. Lee got us in touch with, like region 1, 2, somewhere up around Chicago.
yeah.
So my
because it's
biggest
one of the-
question is, if we need help and we call Chicago, because that's what we're supposed to do in the plan, Loyola is supposed to back us up, but then we also have relationships in Illinois with the Midwest burn something, so it's Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, right? Well, right across the river is FEMA Region 7, which is Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska leads, that's, kind of response for that area. Well, they're supposed to talk to one another and back each other up. Lee and Scott and I were like, I'm gonna call St. Louis because we have Mercy and they have a burn center, so we're gonna start there. But simultaneously, we're notifying our state partners at, IDPH, because that's what the plan says. So it was just very confusing on the process flow within the activation notification piece. But then when we had our first call with our partners across the state, we immediately took a deep dive, and I timed it about 22 minutes. We started talking from a physician standpoint, who was on the call, about why medics should not hit the bait out in the field when it comes to a large incident for burns. And I thought, wow. I was thinking we were going to stay up here when we were looking at this plan, and we go straight into clinical stuff. So I've not been on those calls. Scott is our clinical lead. So just know that sometimes, with the intent of reviewing a plan can get sidetracked. Go down some rabbit holes. I don't know if Lee or Scott has anything to add to that.
I just like they called me Dr. French when I got on that call.
outstanding. I did see a hand up a second ago on the call. Is there someone that had a question or a comment on the call?
Tina.
Hi, this
Yeah.
is Tina at Fayette County Hospital. I just had a question. I know all of these are coming out this week. How are we going to receive those? Will they be in the Hope Coalition area or coming out by email?
That is a great question. The answer is yes, it will be one of those two avenues. We're going to be working on figuring out which is going to be the best way to do that. We do have the options on our Hope Coalition website to put our things to review for you. We did have some, we did that once before and it caused a little bit of confusion for people. But we'll make sure that you're either going to get it on the Hope Coalition, and if we put it there, we'll send you an email telling you to go to the coalition website. If we're going to send it out through email, you'll get it that way directly. Anyone else? All right, thank you. MOUs. I got a fabulous question yesterday that came from one of our coalition members that says, do we need to have an MOU with the coalition? Yes, we're supposed to have those. That's my responsibility to get those out to you. I will be sending those out. And here's my thought process on this.
That has been a long time.
It is, but it is in our fabulous governance documents that you and I signed.
I know.
So there we go.
I knew it was there.
It's in there.
Basically, if you're in the group,
If you're in the group, we get an MOU. So I'm going to be sending those out to you. It's my responsibility as the chair to get those completed, get those out to you. What I'd like to do is keep everyone on the same cycle. I don't want to be sending and having to do this, every week of the year. So I will have those to everyone by March 31st. That way in the month of March, we will be doing our MOUs. So I will send that out to you. Bottom part is really important. You have to have a wet signature. What that means is I actually need somebody to sign their name and not electronically. And then you just send it back to me with a scan. I will then sign it, or I'll sign it first and send it to you so that we both have a copy. And then I will file that in the appropriate locations for the coalition.
and you gotta do that annually.
I'm gonna double check our records. I think I might, but the good news is I already have a template. So it's easy. It's just a matter of changing some words around in the template and signing it and sending it off to you. So it's really easy. Any other questions on that? Really hoping it says biannually, but I will double check that. I don't remember either. It's in there, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it says. That's all that new business. I told you that agenda was pretty full, right? So now we're going to go into our old business. Decon training. I'm going to say this for you, Lee. We need decon training. We need to make sure that we get this accomplished. Make sure that you reach out to Lee or to really any of us at the coalition, and we can help you get this scheduled. You have to have a minimum of 10 students prior to 7 days before the class. We had one just recently that Scott and Lee were getting ready to go. I think it was Friday, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Friday.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Friday, but they didn't have enough people, so it wound up getting canceled. We really don't want that happening. Please, again, make sure that you get that 10 people. You need to have your PPE is ready and available, and let us know if we can help in any way to get this accomplished. Because we do really need to make sure that we have this available and get these classes completed. Any questions for Lee or Scott on this one?
Reaching out to other departments aside from your emergency room staff is a very good thing to do, because in the event of an emergency, you cannot empty out your emergency room or your emergency department to staff your decon bay and then not have anyone left to staff your emergency room to treat patients afterwards. Ancillary services are a great thing. You can shut those departments down and the decon.
Transportation teams, those are great. That's a great example of who you can use. Environmental services.
Case management, PT.
Those are great. They're usually really good because they can help move the unconscious patients really well. The PT people are excellent for that. So any of those groups that are not needed during a disaster that you could shut down are great people to include in your training. And in training, I'm going to turn this over to Scott so he can give you your last chance at this.
Okay. So I've been asking for this since I believe either November or December, and I have gotten a grand total of 4 hospitals to reply. I am trying to create a binder because as of right now, our regional truck is out of commission, so no one can pull with that truck. We are gonna be using either the Reamer team or possibly O'Fallon Fire Department or someone who has a truck capable of pulling the trailer to pull the trailer. So I am creating a binder that will have a designated drop location for the trailer. That way, all that person has to do is they know where they're going, Alton Memorial. I know they can open it up, they can see the Google picture. I am dropping it right there. They'll pull in, they'll drop, they'll leave. I have only had 4 people reply to this request over the last 4 months. So this is going to be your last chance to reply to this request. If you do not pick a location and send it to me, I will pick a location for you. The problem with that is I have no idea where your water hookups are. So I'm going to pick a location and it's going to essentially be up to you to provide the water for it. And it might be on the other side of the building. I would like to know, I need to know when you send this, I need to know where your decon setup is going to be, because I do not want and I will not have the driver pull straight into your hot zone to drop off the trailer. That is a very big, I'm not doing it. So please get this to me as quick as you can. Thank you for those who have responded. But yeah, and by the end of this week, when I come back in April, I'm basically going to create the book off what I have and where I think the trailer would look good going. And it may or may not work great with you.
Any questions for that? Yeah, we definitely don't want trucks pulling into a hot tub. Risk 2.0. I am almost done talking with you about Risk 2.0. And I see some smiles in the background there. And Sean has been diligent with following up on this and making sure that we're moving in the right direction. If you have not completed your Risk 2.0, you will not be completed. You don't get it done by 3/31. You will not be included in the Hope Coalition's regional version of the Risk 2.0. Also remember that for the next fiscal year, you have to do this if you want to get grant money. So again, if you have any concerns on how to do this, you don't know what I'm talking about, you're completely lost and confused, you can reach out to either myself or Sean, and we're going to point you in the right direction to get this accomplished. I will share with you, because I was in it yesterday or the day before. This is still working. It has nothing to do with the government shutdown. This is working just fine. So I know, good try, right? I was waiting for someone to go, oh, we can't because the government shut down, but this is working just fine. But if you're confused on it, feel free to reach out to us and we will be happy to help you through the process. Any questions on this?
All the data is in, how long will it take us to be able to have a regional issue?
Very quickly. We'll have it almost immediately. Because when your stuff flows up to ours, we just have to go to a different dashboard and it automatically populates that for us.
Those dashboards are readily available. I'm not totally ignorant to the system. I haven't been able to find something. The reason I'm asking is because I've got an accreditation survey coming up. And of course, one of the first things they want to see is an HVA. So what I've done is I've completed this, but I've also done so I have something if they want to look at it that I can show it. But it'd be really nice to be able to pull this up and say, look, so it's not just, it doesn't just show the HVA and preparedness, but it also shows collaboration. Two things that are very important in that survey. So that's why I was asking how quickly the survey could happen anytime.
So I'll share with you both, and I don't know if you're DNV, HVAC, or Joint Commission, but all.
We're HVAC, but it's H.
Okay, all of them are familiar with the Risk 2.0 tool. And you can literally bring up this is a dashboard here. I believe this one is for Belleville. I'm not sure, I can't.
Yeah, and that's
a little blurry.
I can pull that up.
Yeah, and
I won't be able to see.
Sure. And what we've done too is, and we've done this for ourselves because, there's a lot of things on here, the volcano stuff is not what we need to worry about when we bring this up. What we've done for Belleville, Shiloh is we've brought up the top 10 and between myself and Sean, we created just a graph that shows what like our top 10 and our top 20 are. to go along with what we've got here. And you're able to pull that out of here into that Excel sheet. And you're able to pull that out and you can use that to make some really nice graphs. We're going to do the same thing with the regional version of this once we're completed. And we'll make sure that that's posted on the Hope Coalition website. So everyone here will just be able to go in, take it, and use it for what they need to use it for. Okay. Thank you. That's a great question. Appreciate it.
What I referenced to.
Yes.
Only where you.
Sure. Understood. And you know, that's perfectly reasonable. And there's a lot of folks that are doing that, but there's other folks like us who are using just this as our HVA, and that's okay too.
Well, that's what I want to get to.
Yeah, I understand, because it gives you all that great information. Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
got something.
upcoming. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hey, who was that who was just talking? I missed the name about they had the survey coming up with ACHC.
This is Dale from Sparta.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
It's Dale from Sparta.
All right, I'm gonna send you a message direct because we also use ACHC here at Carlinville, and I'm gonna have some questions.
All right, so our upcoming events, the coalition, the next one is April 1st. It's going to be MS Teams. It's not in person for that one. Apparently we put April 2, it should say 20 to 24. That's my fault. I missed the 0 on that one. The monthly coalition for May 6th, and then the quarterly coalition that comes on June 3rd is back here at Anderson Hospital. So again, my error where it says the surge exercise, that should say 20 to 24, not 2 to 24. Yeah, that's a really wide goalpost at that point. Well, you know it'll never get on Monday, right?
Or Friday.
Or Friday, there we go. Here's some other grant deliverables that we have. We need that deliverable from you by 3/31 so that we can get it completed and get our submission made for the grant. The medical disaster plan review has to be in by 6:30. We're already working on that. And then the functional exercise and AAR has to be done and submitted by 4:30. So we'll do it. We got this. We got this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I didn't say I'm not disagreeing with you, but there it is.
That's funny.
There it is. Any questions on these? Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
You never told me that.
Well, if we're putting it in camp, it probably won't be back by then anyway.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly where we have to submit it is in camp. So there we go.
They're not even open.
That gives me the opportunity to turn it over to you in the room and to those of you online for open floor and discussion. All right, I've been staring at Sean long enough and making him uncomfortable because he's been staring right back at me. So we'll go ahead and end the meeting. Thank you all for attending. I am going to back this up just so that you can see again what our coalition meetings coming up are, just for those of you that might need to make that note for yourself. Hope everybody has a great day, and it was great to see you guys all in person. So thank you for that.
Last time it's smothered. Getting nasty weather.
What?
I don't know. Maybe the back and forth market, higher.